Now, we're going to begin to show what is meant that when God created things, that he placed things in a particular geography with a particular temperature consistent with that cell group. Show, because God, and only God, could do such a thing. He placed the gorilla in Africa with some green leaves all around the gorilla. His environment is green. Not so for the polar bear. The polar bear is placed in Alaska with seals, fish that he should eat, and it's cold. The gorilla, he is placed with leaves that he should eat. Among those leaves, there were no bananas, because bananas are hybrids. Again, from the category of industrial agriculture. So the gorilla, like the polar bear, if we were to interfere with God, you will see something very disastrous. All you have to do is to move the gorilla from Africa and place it in Alaska. Immediately upon 2 weeks, he'll freeze to death. He cannot protect himself from the cold. And after, if you were to succeed in helping him to live in such an environment, what about his food? He doesn't eat fish or seals. He eats plants, he eats leaves, he eats berries, fruits. And vice versa, if you were to take the polar bear to Africa, most certainly, he could not live with the temperature. The temperature is too much for him. It is impossible. It is unbearable, because he was not made to live in Africa. We leave these two animals and we go to a plant. The plant, we're going to select 2 or 3 to make it very easy. The burdock plant. When one appeals to the burdock plant for energy, what is the mineral in question that the burdock is abundantly supplied with? Iron. Iron is the mineral that the burdock plant has in abundance. Meaning that, like the gorilla, who selects a green leaf, the polar bear selecting a seal, the burdock plant selects iron. Is it clear? Of course it is clear. Let us go to the Homo sapien. Are we not part of the same law? Are we not indebted to the same law of God, that cosmic arrangement? Or do we feel that we are exempt from such a law? Well, you know that if we take that particular position, naturally, it becomes difficult to live. Life would not be manifesting in the level, on the level that God intends for it to be. Because we are violating. Why should I raise the question about violating God? I have to. We at the Usha Research Institute, for years, 20 plus now, has been trying to show what could be the reason why our leaders that has been so grateful to us, all of them, they have tried in many ways to bring us together, that we could give each other the love that is missing since we have been removed from mother country. In the Supreme Court of the United States, New York Supreme Court, I mean, a question was asked. When the African was removed from his environment 500 years ago, did they bring his food with him? The answer was no. No. Our food was not brought to the shores of North America. Listen carefully. For a gorilla to function at his optimum level, he has to eat what God provided for him. The polar bear, likewise. The burdock plant, the same. And what about us? What about us, the so-called black man? You think that God didn't know what he was doing when he placed black people in Africa with the plants and the fruits that was necessary to maintain this level of life that we are seeking now? No. Our leaders were not helped to understand that a diesel automobile cannot run with gasoline fuel, nor vice versa. If they had understood that, or maybe they did, but it was not time. The OSHA research is taking upon itself the responsibility. Like all the others before, we are only adding another step on the ladder. But a little bright spot appears where there was darkness, and we jumped on it. We realize that our leaders, our healers, our spiritual healers, there was a component missing that they were unaware of. The food that is consistent with our gene. That was the component that was missing.